We're only 3 episodes into Pokemon Horizons so far, and the story has been quite straightforward. Liko started at the Indigo Academy and she met her partner Sprigatito, and then she got wrapped up in the middle of a whole plot because a villainous group called the Explorers wanted to steal her special pendant that she was given by her grandmother. All pretty simple, right? But what if I told you that there could be a hidden storyline within those episodes? A huge, shocking twist that caused this story to unfold as it did, because I think I might have found something big. And let me say this straight up, this is just a crazy wild concept, like a random out there theory, based only on evidence in the episodes themselves. The last time I made a video like this about a hidden storyline between Cynthia and Diantha in the Masters 8, a few people got a little too angry about it because I was accusing a character of doing something bad. So yeah, let me just really emphasize, this is just a crazy wacky theory, it's not confirmed at all. Really, it's just me putting bits of evidence together that I found in the episodes to create a wacky narrative that may play a role in Pokemon Horizons. Don't take it too seriously, just have fun with it, you know? Like I said before, Liko was given her special pendant necklace by her grandmother before the series began, and so far the goal of Amethio's Evil Explorers group is to steal that pendant from Liko. We don't yet know why the Explorers want the pendant or what they want to do with it. The only thing we do know is that they're willing to go to any extreme to get it. But one huge thing that I've not really seen many people talking about is how did the Explorers know about the pendant? How did the Explorers know about the pendant, and how did the Explorers know that Liko has the pendant at the academy? The first 3 episodes really didn't explain this at all. Somehow the Explorers just knew about the pendant and they just knew that Liko had it, all for some unexplained reason. Pokemon Horizons episode 3 explained that Friede and the other Rising Volt tacklers were hired as bodyguards by Liko's mother in order to protect Liko at the academy and keep her safe. So obviously it does make sense that the Rising Volt tacklers know about the pendant, but that still doesn't explain how the Explorers knew. Well, I really think that I might know how the Explorers knew about all of Liko and the pendant's information. In Pokemon Horizons episode 1, Liko met her new roommate Ann, and Ann and her Oshawott are so full of joy and happiness, they're literally the personification of fun, dude. But what if I told you this may not be the case at all? Because I noticed something really mysterious and questionable about Ann in Pokemon Horizons episode 1. So in episode 1, in the middle of the night in their dorm room, Liko, thinking she was the only one awake in the dorm, looked at her grandmother's pendant that she was keeping hidden, but then Ann woke up as well and looked at the pendant and began asking Liko questions about the pendant. Liko confided in Ann, and she even told Ann that the special pendant was given to her by her grandmother and that the pendant is supposed to keep her safe. So Ann is the first character in the show to find out this key information about Liko's pendant, and then suddenly the very next day after finding out the information, Ann left the academy to head home for a short break out of the blue. And that very same day, hours later, Amethio and the Explorers arrived at the academy. Amethio knew exactly who Liko was, what she looked like, what dorm area she was in, and then he handed her a letter saying it's from her grandmother, and saying that her grandmother asked her to give Amethio her pendant so that it could be returned to her grandmother. And then obviously we all know what happened afterwards. Liko ran away and got chased by the Explorers, and they were trying to steal her pendant, etc, etc. But just to look at all of this information, dude, really think about it, and think about this, right? I know that what I'm about to say is so crazy and wacky and out there, but not a single person knew about the pendant necklace until Liko showed Ann the pendant necklace. Liko literally told Ann that it comes from her grandmother, that her grandmother gave it to her, and she told Ann that its purpose is to keep her safe. And then suddenly, literally days after Liko told Ann all that information, suddenly the Explorers are here and they know Liko's exact location, her exact dorm room, they know what Liko looks like, they know where she is, they know that she has the pendant necklace. Amethio even went to Liko's dorm bedroom, he knew her school, her dorm room number. Amethio somehow even knew that the pendant came from her grandmother. How on earth did Amethio know all of that ultra specific information? The only other person on the planet who knew Liko's school, her dorm room, what Liko looks like, about her pendant, and about her pendant coming from her grandmother, and about her pendant being meant to protect her, the only other person in the world who knew all of that information was... Wait a second. The only other person who knew all of that information about Liko was Ann, Liko's roommate, Liko's best friend. The same Ann who conveniently had to leave the academy hours before the explorers arrived, immediately before the explorers attacked Liko and tried to steal her pendant. Almost like Ann wanted to be out of the way of what was about to go down. Right, dude, this is absolutely crazy, but hear me out, okay? What if Ann told Amethio and the explorers about Liko's pendant? What if Ann told them that it came from her grandmother? What if Ann told them what Liko looks like so they could easily find her like they did? What if Ann told them Liko's location and her dorm room so they could steal the pendant? Somehow Amethio and the explorers knew all of this information, and there really is no explanation as to how. The only person who knew all of that was Ann. We all know Ann as the most happy, bubbly girl ever, but what if deep down she's allies with the explorers? This is honestly the only explanation that I can find that so far makes sense in explaining how the explorers knew everything about Liko and the pendant. Plus, episode 3 even revealed that Ann is going to keep video calling Liko while they're apart, so maybe that could be Ann's way of keeping an eye on Liko and Liko's location so that she can feed it back to the explorers. And also, interestingly, Ann even tried to persuade Liko to wear her pendant necklace around her neck publicly, rather than trying to hide it. Maybe Ann could have been trying to make it easier for the explorers to steal the pendant by persuading Liko to wear it all the time. And I know, this entire theory is so crazy and so out there and so bonkers, and probably super unlikely too. I mean, Ann seems so kind and so not evil, you know? But I can't lie, I really do think there's a tiny chance that Ann, Liko's roommate, her best friend, may have actually betrayed Liko by giving all the information to the explorers. Because the amount of evidence hinting at it is huge, dude. Ann is the only one who knew all of the information about Liko and the pendant. And then out of the blue, the very next day, the explorers know all of this information too? Look, I absolutely adore Ann's character, but if it is later revealed that she did betray Liko, then dude, that would elevate her character even higher, because almost nobody would have seen it coming. Maybe Ann could be the daughter of a higher up member in the explorers, or maybe Ann could be Amethio's sister, or maybe Ann just knows the explorers. Any of those things could work. Of course, on the other hand, an alternative explanation could just be that Ann, being the bubbly and talkative and extroverted and clumsy and carefree person she is, she may have just accidentally mentioned the pendant to the explorers. Not knowing they were evil, not knowing they would attack Liko, Ann might have just let it slip out by mistake. Or maybe the explorers tricked her into telling them, or maybe they forced her to tell them. To be fair, that does seem much more in character for Ann. It does seem incredibly unlikely that Ann would actually betray Liko, you know? But man, something about a huge betrayal story really excites me so much, dude. And that really would show just how mature and shocking Pokemon Horizons could be. Let me know what you think about this crazy theory in the comments below. Do you think it would ever happen? Do you think that Ann would ever betray Liko? And do you want it to happen? Do you think it sounds like an exciting storyline or not? I want to know your opinions. Like I said at the start of the video, this is just like a crazy, light-hearted, funny theory, so don't take it personally, don't take offense. It's really not that deep, you know? Just have some fun with the possibility, you know? Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed hearing this stupid theory. It would really help me out, and we're on the long road to 150,000 subscribers, so your help to get us there would mean everything to me. Join our Discord server and follow me on Twitter using the links in the video description, and also be sure to follow me on Twitch too, because I'm now doing daily live streams, dude. So yeah, come join the fun. I think that's probably gotta be everything. Thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.